Emily sat on her bed, staring at the blank screen of her phone.
L.
The world outside her window was bright and lively, but inside her heart, it felt heavy. It had been 6 months since her best friend Mark had moved away. They had shared countless memories, laughter, and dreams together, but now each day felt like a small eternity without him. The distance between them was not just miles on a map, it was a chasm that grew wider with every passing day. Mark had been more than just a friend. He was like a brother to Emily. They had spent every weekend together, exploring the parks, watching movies, and dreaming about their future. They would often talk about how they would conquer the world, as if nothing could stop them. But when Mark received the news that his family was relocating to another state, everything changed. Emily felt as if a piece of her heart had been taken away. At first, they tried to keep in touch. They promised to call each other every week and send text messages daily. But as the days turned into weeks, the calls became less frequent. Emily found herself staring at her phone, waiting for a message from Mark that never came. Each time she saw a notification, her heart raced, only to sink when it wasn't from him. She felt a growing sadness that made her retreat into herself. Emily wanted to reach out to tell Mark how much she missed him, but she didn't know how. What if he was too busy with his new life? What if he had moved on and no longer needed her? Those thoughts weighed heavily on her mind. She felt like a ship lost at sea, drifting in loneliness. Every time she thought about picking up the phone, a wave of fear washed over her. What if their friendship had changed forever? One afternoon, while cleaning her room, Emily stumbled upon an old photo album. She sat down on the floor and opened it, revealing memories of laughter and adventure. There were pictures of Mark and her at the beach, their faces covered in ice cream, and snapshots of them at the amusement park, screaming in delight on the rides. With every turn of the page, her heart ached a little more. The memories were bittersweet, reminding her of the bond they had shared and the distance that now separated them. As she flipped through the pages, a tiny spark of hope ignited within her. Emily realized that although Mark was far away, their memories were still alive within her. She remembered the dreams they had shared about building a better future, about facing challenges together. They had always believed in each other, and that belief didn't have to fade just because they were apart. With newfound determination, Emily decided she wouldn't let fear hold her back any longer. She picked up her phone and began to type a message to Mark. "Hey, I know things have been different since you moved, but I miss you so much. I would love to catch up. Can we video chat?" Her fingers hovered over the send button, heart racing with anticipation. Finally, she pressed it and watched the message disappear into the digital ether. Days passed, and Emily found herself checking her phone more often than usual. She felt a mix of excitement and anxiety. What if Mark didn't respond? But then, one evening, the notification she had been waiting for finally appeared. "Hey, Em, I miss you too. I'd love to chat. How about tomorrow?" Joy surged through her, washing away the sadness that had lingered for so long. They set a time for their video call, and Emily spent the evening preparing. Room and even put on her favorite shirt, the one Mark always said looked great on her, the next day. As the call approached, she felt nervous, yet hopeful. When Mark's face finally appeared on the screen, all her worries melted away. They laughed, shared stories, and caught up on everything they had missed. Emily realized that the bond they had was still strong, no matter the distance. As they talked about their dreams, Emily felt a renewed sense of hope. They were still the same people, with the same dreams. The distance felt a little less daunting now, as if they were on a journey together again, ready to conquer the world, no matter the challenges ahead. In that moment, Emily understood that, while they may be miles apart, their friendship was a powerful warship that could withstand any storm. This human connection was impossible to break, and together they would face the future, no matter how terrifying it might seem. Emily felt a wave of warmth wash over her as she ended the video call with Mark. The joy of reconnecting lifted her spirits. But the weight of their physical distance still lingered in the back of her mind. The next day, she woke up with a renewed sense of purpose. She was determined to bridge the gap that separated them, but the question remained: how? After breakfast, Emily sat at her desk, staring at her laptop. She opened a blank document and began to type. "Dear Mark," she wrote, her fingers moving hesitantly over the keyboard. She wanted to share her feelings, to let him know how much he meant to her. But the words felt heavy in her heart. The previous night's conversation had reignited the dreams they used to share. They had talked about exploring new places, inventing new ideas, and even building something great together. Those dreams felt closer now, but the distance still made Emily feel small and uncertain. She wanted to be brave, like the heroes in the stories they had enjoyed together as she typed. She remembered a time when they had built a model rocket together for a science fair. They had spent hours designing it, arguing about the best materials to use and how to make it fly higher than any other rocket. In the end, it had soared high into the sky, and they had cheered as it fell back to Earth. That moment felt like a symbol of their friendship, a representation of their ability to create something beautiful together. Emily paused, contemplating how to capture that same spirit in her letter. She realized that just as they had built the rocket, they could rebuild their connection, no matter the distance. With newfound determination, she wrote about her desire to visit him someday and explore his new city together. She wanted to experience his new life and share in his adventures. Just as they had done before, after finishing the letter, Emily felt a sense of relief. She printed it out, folded it neatly, and placed it in an envelope. But then she had an idea. Instead of just mailing the letter, she would surprise Mark with something special. That afternoon, she went to the local craft store and gathered supplies. She decided to make a scrapbook filled with memories of their friendship. She collected photos, ticket stubs from their favorite movies, and little notes they had written to each other over the years. Each item was a reminder of the bond they shared, and she hoped that this would bring a smile to Mark's face. As she worked on the scrapbook, Emily felt a sense of joy and excitement. Each page turned into a celebration of their friendship, filled with laughter and warmth. She added captions to the photos, recalling funny moments and inside jokes. She wrote, "Remember when we tried to bake cookies and ended up with a kitchen disaster?" When the scrapbook was finally complete, Emily felt proud. It was a tangible representation of their friendship, and she hoped it would remind Mark of all the good times they had shared. She carefully packaged it and wrote another note to include, inviting him to fill the scrapbook with his own memories and experiences from his new life. That evening, Emily placed the package in the mail, her heart racing with anticipation. Imagine Mark opening it, his face lighting up with joy as he remembered their adventures. For the first time in a long time, she felt hopeful about their future. She realized that their friendship was like the warship they had dreamed of building together, strong, resilient, and capable of overcoming any challenge. As the days passed, Emily found herself smiling more often. She kept her phone close, eagerly, waiting for Mark's response. She knew that the distance between them was still there, but she felt empowered by the idea that they could continue to grow together no matter where they were. Finally, a week later, she received a notification. Mark had sent her a message. Her heart raced as she opened it. "Emily, I just got your package.
The
scrapbook is amazing. I can't believe how much fun we've had together. I miss you so much. Let's plan a visit soon." Tears of joy filled Emily's eyes. She felt a sense of relief wash over her. The distance didn't seem so insurmountable anymore. They were still connected, and their friendship was alive and well. Together, they would navigate the challenges ahead. Just like they had built that rocket all those years ago, Emily knew that while life might be unpredictable, their bond was strong enough to weather any storm. With hope in her heart, she began to imagine their next adventure, ready to take on the world together once again. They were two humans, strong and determined, ready to build their future together, no matter how terrifying it might seem. Emily couldn't believe how quickly a week had passed since she sent the scrapbook to Mark. Each day felt like an eternity, filled with anticipation and a longing to hear from him. She had never realized how much she relied on their friendship for comfort and joy. Even the smallest things reminded her of him. His laugh, their inside jokes, and the way he always seemed to know how to make her smile as she sat at her desk. Emily replayed their last video call in her mind. Mark had looked so happy, talking about his new school and the friends he was making. But deep inside, she felt a pang of sadness. She wanted to be part of his new life, to share in his adventures and hear all the stories he had to tell. One evening, while scrolling through her phone, Emily noticed a photo of a new park that had opened in their town. It was filled with vibrant flowers, winding paths, and a beautiful lake. She remembered how much Mark loved nature and how they used to spend weekends exploring parks and trails together. Suddenly, an idea sparked in her mind. What if she organized a big reunion in that park? She could invite their friends from school, and they could all come together to celebrate their friendship. Excitement bubbled within her as she began planning. She texted their mutual friends, sharing her idea about a reunion. Everyone responded with enthusiasm, eager to meet up and reconnect. Emily felt a wave of warmth wash over her. This was it. This was her chance to bridge the distance between her and Mark. As the days went on, she worked tirelessly to prepare for the reunion. She arranged for food, games, and activities that would remind everyone of their happy memories. She even created a giant poster filled with photos and messages from everyone who would attend. Each piece of the puzzle brought her closer to the hope of seeing Mark again. But as the event drew nearer, a flicker of doubt crept into her mind. What if Mark couldn't make it? What if he had completely moved on? The thought made her stomach twist with anxiety. She pushed those thoughts away, reminding herself that their friendship was strong and worth fighting for. Just like the warship they had dreamed of building, it required effort and resilience to withstand the challenges of distance. On the day of the reunion, Emily arrived early at the park, her heart racing with excitement. The sun shone brightly, and the air was filled with the sweet scent of blooming flowers. Friends began to arrive, and laughter filled the air. They played games, shared stories, and reminisced about the good times they had shared as the afternoon wore on. Emily kept glancing at her phone, hoping for a message from Mark. She felt a mix of joy and nervousness, wondering if he would actually show up. She had put so much hope into this day, and the thought of celebrating with everyone made her heart swell. Just as the sun began to set, casting a golden glow over the park, Emily spotted a familiar figure in the distance. It was Mark. He walked toward her, a big smile on his face, and her heart soared. She rushed to greet him, and they embraced tightly, as if trying to close the distance that had felt so vast for so long. "I can't believe you made it," Emily exclaimed, her voice filled with joy. "I wouldn't miss it for the world." Mark replied, his eyes sparkling. "I've missed you so much." As they reconnected, Emily felt a sense of relief wash over her. They spent the evening catching up, sharing stories about their lives and laughing like they used to. Mark told her about his new school, the friends he had made, and the adventures he had experienced. Emily shared all the things that had happened in her life, and it felt as if no time had passed at all, surrounded by friends. Emily realized that distance could not diminish the bond they shared. Their friendship was like the most powerful warship built to withstand the storms of life. As the sun set, casting vibrant colors across the sky, Emily felt a sense of hope bubbling within her. They were still the same people, still dreaming of a bright future together. As they stood side by side, looking at the sunset, Mark turned to Emily and said, "You know, no matter where we are, we'll always find a way back to each other." With a heart full of hope and joy, Emily nodded. She knew that together they could face any challenge life threw at them. Their friendship was strong, and they would continue to build their dreams, no matter how terrifying the journey might seem. Holding on to that belief, Emily felt ready to take on the world, hand in hand with her best friend by her side. After the joyful reunion at the park, Emily felt a renewed sense of hope. She and Mark had reconnected, and it was as if no time had passed since he moved away. They promised each other to stay in touch more often, but Emily couldn't shake the feeling that she needed to do more to keep their friendship strong. The weeks following the reunion flew by. Emily often found herself daydreaming about the fun they had at the park. The laughter, the games, and the stories shared filled her. heart with warmth. Yet, as the excitement faded into the routine of daily life, the distance began to loom large again. Mark was busy with school, and although they texted and called occasionally, it felt like they were drifting apart once more. One afternoon, while sitting at her desk, Emily stared out the window. She felt a familiar ache in her chest, a longing for the connection they had built. It was time to take action again. She remembered the scrapbook she had made for Mark and how much joy it had brought him. Inspired by that idea, Emily decided to create something new, a project that would allow them to share their lives. Even from afar, with determination, she set to work on a friendship journal. It would be a shared space where they could write letters, draw pictures, and share their dreams. It would be a way for them to stay connected, regardless of their physical distance. She envisioned it as a beautiful vessel, much like the warship they had dreamed of building together. Strong enough to weather any storm, Emily gathered supplies, colorful paper, markers, stickers, and even some glitter. She spent hours designing the cover, writing our friendship journal in bold letters. Inside, she created different sections for letters, memories, and future plans. She wanted it to be a treasure trove of their friendship, something they could both contribute to and cherish. Once the journal was complete, Emily felt a surge of excitement. She wrote the first letter, detailing everything that had happened in her life since their reunion. She talked about school, her family, and her dreams for the future. She poured her heart into her words, hoping that Mark would feel the same joy she experienced when they were together. With a smile on her face, she sealed the letter and placed it in the journal. Then she carefully packaged the journal and sent it off to Mark, her heart racing at the thought of him receiving it. She hoped he would love the idea and feel inspired to write back. Days turned into a week, and Emily found herself anxiously checking her phone for a message from Mark. She was excited but also nervous. What if he didn't like the journal? What if he was too busy to write back? Those thoughts crept into her mind, but she pushed them away. She believed in their friendship and knew that they could overcome any challenge together. Finally, one sunny afternoon, she received a message from Mark. Her heart raced as she opened it. "Emily, I got your journal. It's amazing. I love the idea, and I can't wait to write back. You always know how to make me smile." Emily felt a wave of relief and joy wash over her. She couldn't wait to see what Mark had written. She spent the rest of the day dreaming about the stories he would share, the drawings he might include, and the plans they could make together. As the days passed, they began to exchange letters in the journal. Mark wrote about his new friends and the exciting things he was learning at school. He shared his dreams of becoming an engineer and how he wanted to create things that could change the world. Emily was thrilled to read his words and felt proud of him. She responded with her own dreams of exploring new places and making a difference in her community. Through the journal, they shared not just their daily lives, but also their hopes and fears. They encouraged each other, reminding one another that they were still connected, no matter the distance. It felt like they were building something beautiful together, just like the warship they had always dreamed of, creating a friendship that could conquer any obstacles. One day, as Emily wrote in the journal, she felt a sense of purpose wash over her. She realized that, although they were physically apart, their friendship was stronger than ever. They were two humans, navigating life together, supporting each other through every challenge. She had turned her sadness into hope, and it felt empowering. With each letter, they built a bridge across the distance, a warship of friendship that would carry them through life's storms. Emily knew that no matter where life took them, they would always find a way back to each other. Their bond was unbreakable, and together they would face whatever came their way, ready to conquer the world, one letter at a time. As the leaves began to change color and the air turned crisp, Emily felt a familiar ache in her heart. It had been months since she and Mark had started their friendship journal, and while it had brought them closer in many ways, she still felt a distance that left her feeling a bit lonely. The journal was filled with stories, drawings, and dreams, but something was missing. She longed for the laughter and joy of being together in person, not just through letters. One evening, as she flipped through the pages of their journal. Emily came across a drawing Mark had made of the two of them standing in front of their favorite park. They both wore silly hats and big smiles. It was a beautiful reminder of their friendship, but it also made her heart ache. She missed those carefree days when they could spend hours talking and laughing without a care in the world, feeling inspired. Emily decided it was time to take action again. She wanted to do something special for Mark, something that would remind him of their bond and show him how much he meant to her. After thinking for a while, an idea sparked in her mind, a surprise visit. Emily knew that Mark lived several hours away, but she felt determined. She wanted to show him that their friendship was worth the effort, just like the warship they had always dreamed of building together. She could not let distance keep them apart any longer. With a sense of purpose, she began to plan her trip. Next day, she talked to her parents about her idea. At first, they were hesitant. "It's a long drive, and we need to make sure it's safe," her mom said, concern in her eyes. But Emily explained how much she missed Mark and how important it was for her to see him. After discussing it as a family, they agreed to help her with the trip. They planned for the upcoming weekend, giving Emily a few days to prepare. As the day of her trip approached, Emily felt a mix of excitement and nervousness. She packed her favorite snacks, a few games, and of course, the friendship journal. She wanted to share it with Mark in person, to show him how much their connection meant to her. She also wrote him a letter, expressing her feelings and excitement about the visit. Finally, the day arrived. Emily and her family loaded the car and set off on the journey. As they drove, she watched the scenery change outside the window, feeling butterflies in her stomach. The thought of surprising Mark filled her with hope. She could already imagine the look on his face when she walked through his door. When they arrived at Mark's neighborhood, Emily's heart raced. She felt a surge of adrenaline as she approached his house. Her family parked the car, and she quickly gathered her things. She took a deep breath and walked up to the front door, her heart pounding in her chest. Before she could knock, the door swung open, and there stood Mark, his eyes wide in disbelief. "Emily, is that really you?" he exclaimed, a huge smile breaking across his face. In that moment, all her nervousness melted away, and she felt a wave of happiness wash over her. "Surprise! I came to see you," Emily said, grinning from ear to ear. They embraced tightly, and she could feel the warmth of their friendship wrap around them like a comforting blanket. Mark ushered her inside, where they spent the afternoon catching up and sharing stories. Emily showed him the friendship journal and all the letters they had exchanged. "I can't believe you came all this way. This is the best surprise ever," Mark said, flipping through the pages filled with memories. They laughed, reminisced, and planned new adventures together, feeling as if they had transported back to the days when they were inseparable. That evening, they went outside to watch the stars twinkle in the clear night sky. Emily felt a sense of peace and joy. This visit was everything she had hoped it would be. She realized that distance might separate them physically, but their bond was unbreakable. As they sat together, Mark turned to her and said, no matter how far apart we are, I always feel like you're with me. You're my best friend, and nothing can change that." Emily smiled, her heart swelling with hope. They were like the mighty warship they had dreamed of building, strong enough to withstand any storm. They could face any challenge together, no matter the distance. With renewed determination, she knew they would continue to support each other and build their dreams hand in hand. That night, as she lay in bed, Emily reflected on how far they had come. She had taken a leap of faith, and it had brought her closer to Mark than she could have ever imagined. With hope in her heart, she drifted off to sleep, knowing that they would always find a way back to each other, ready to conquer the world together. As the seasons changed, so did Emily's feelings about her friendship with Mark. They had established a new routine with their friendship journal, and their regular video calls became the highlight of her week. But deep down, she still felt a lingering sadness. It wasn't just the distance that troubled her. It was the fear that their connection might fade over time, just like the leaves changing color in the autumn breeze. One chilly afternoon, Emily sat in her room, looking out the window, as the first snowflakes of winter began to fall. Remembered how Mark loved winter, how they used to play in the snow, build snowmen, and drink hot cocoa together. The memories made her smile, but they also intensified her longing for him. She missed his laughter and the warmth of their shared experiences. Suddenly, an idea sparked in her mind. What if she organized a winter-themed virtual party? They could invite their friends from school to join in, making it a fun event to celebrate the season and their friendship. It would be a way to bring everyone together, despite the distance, and create new memories that would last a lifetime. Emily quickly grabbed her notebook and began jotting down ideas for the winter party. She imagined a cozy atmosphere filled with laughter, games, and hot cocoa. They could have a snowman building contest, even if it was virtual. Each participant could make a snowman using household items and then share pictures. There could also be a holiday movie marathon, where everyone watched the same movie together and chatted during it. Excitement bubbled within her as she planned. She sent out invitations to their mutual friends, sharing her vision for the winter party. The response was overwhelmingly positive. Everyone was eager to participate, and Emily felt her heart swell with hope. This was going to be fun. Party day approached. Emily decorated her room with fairy lights and winter-themed decorations. She baked cookies and prepared mugs of hot cocoa, complete with marshmallows and whipped cream. She wanted everything to be perfect. On the day of the party, she logged onto her computer, her heart racing with excitement and a hint of nervousness. When the video call started, she was greeted by smiling faces, including Mark's. Seeing him made her heart flutter, and she felt a wave of happiness wash over her. "Welcome to our winter wonderland," she announced, her voice bright with enthusiasm. They all laughed and chatted, sharing stories about their favorite winter memories. Emily felt the warmth of friendship envelop her, and for a moment, the distance faded away. They started the snowman building contest, and everyone got creative with household items. One friend used socks, another used fruit, and Mark cleverly crafted his snowman from pillows. As they shared their creations, Emily felt a sense of pride. This was what she had hoped for. Way to keep their friendships alive and strong, no matter the miles between them. The laughter and joy in the virtual room reminded her of the times they spent together in person. Each smile and joke felt like a warm hug. After the contest, they settled in to watch a holiday movie together. They laughed at the funny moments and commented on the characters, feeling like they were all sitting in the same room. Emily looked at the screen, where Mark's face lit up with joy, and she felt a spark of hope. Their friendship was not only surviving, it was thriving. Later, as the movie ended, Emily asked everyone to share their wishes for the new year. One by one, they spoke about their hopes, dreams, and goals. When it was Emily's turn, she took a deep breath and said, "I hope we can continue to stay connected, no matter the distance. I believe our friendship is strong enough to weather any storm." Mark nodded, his eyes shining. "I feel the same way. We are like a warship built to last and ready to take on anything together." After the party, Emily felt a renewed sense of purpose. It was clear that they could build something beautiful, even from afar. Their virtual winter wonderland had shown her that distance was merely a number, not a barrier to their connection. As she lay in bed that night, she reflected on how far they had come. Their friendship was like a mighty warship, crafted with care, resilience, and love. She smiled, knowing that they would continue to support each other, no matter where life took them. With hope in her heart, Emily drifted off to sleep, ready for whatever adventures awaited them in the new year, knowing that together, they could conquer anything. As the new year began, Emily felt a wave of hope wash over her. The winter party had been a success, and she felt closer to Mark than ever. Their friendship journal was filled with memories, drawings, and exciting plans for the future. But despite their efforts, Emily still felt a small ache in her heart. She wanted to do more to strengthen their bond and show Mark how much their friendship meant to her. One crisp Saturday morning, Emily woke up with a new idea. She remembered how much Mark liked adventure. They'd often talked about exploring new places together. What if she organized a virtual adventure for them to share? It could be a way to experience something new together, even from afar. With determination, Emily began planning. She decided on a virtual scavenger hunt. The idea was to create a list of fun and silly items they could find in their homes. Each item would represent a memory or an inside joke they shared. For example, she could include something that makes you laugh, or the most unusual item in your room. The goal would be to find the items and share stories about them. Once she had the list ready, Emily sent a message to Mark. "Hey, I have an idea for our next adventure. Let's do a virtual scavenger hunt. I'll send you a list of items to find, and we can share stories about them." Mark replied almost immediately, "That sounds awesome. I'm in. Can't wait to see what you come up with." Feeling excited, Emily spent the next few days preparing for the scavenger hunt. She created a colorful list with pictures and descriptions for each item. She also made a few surprise challenges like do a silly dance or tell your funniest joke. She wanted it to be fun and memorable. Finally, the day of the scavenger hunt arrived. Emily set up her laptop and decorated her room with streamers and balloons. She wanted everything to feel festive and special. When Mark logged on to the video call, his face lit up with excitement. "Wow, Emily, this looks amazing," he exclaimed. "Thanks." "I wanted it to be fun," Emily replied, her heart racing with joy. "Are you ready to get started?" "Absolutely," Mark said, grinning from ear to ear. Emily shared the scavenger hunt list, and they both set off to find the items. As they raced around their homes, laughter filled the air. Mark held up a stuffed animal that he had named Mr. Fluffy, and Emily couldn't stop giggling. "I remember that. You used to take him everywhere," she said. They found items that sparked joyful memories. Emily showed Mark a picture of their first snowman, and he shared a funny story about the time they got caught in a snowball fight. Each item they found brought them closer, reminding them of the adventures they had shared and the laughter that filled their friendship. As the scavenger hunt continued, it completed the surprise challenges too. Emily danced around her room, and Mark laughed so hard he almost fell off his chair. They took turns telling jokes, and the sound of their laughter echoed through the virtual space, making it feel like they were right next to each other after the scavenger hunt. They settled down to catch their breath. Emily felt a warm glow in her heart. This adventure had reminded her that even though they were apart, their friendship could still thrive. They were like a powerful warship, navigating through the waves of life together, ready to face any storm. "Emily," Mark said, breaking the comfortable silence, "I really loved this. It felt like we were on an adventure together, just like old times. Thank you for putting this together. I'm so glad you enjoyed it." Emily replied, smiling brightly. "I think we should do this more often. We can keep exploring together, no matter where we are." Mark nodded, his expression serious but warm. "I believe that too. Our friendship is strong enough to overcome any distance. I promise we'll always find ways to stay connected." In that moment, Emily felt a rush of hope. She realized that their friendship was more than just shared experiences. It was about the love and support they provided each other. No matter how far apart they were, they could always find a way back to each other. As the call ended, Emily felt a sense of peace. She knew that their connection was like a sturdy ship built with care and love. Together, they would continue to explore new horizons, face challenges head-on, celebrate the joy of their friendship. With renewed determination, Emily went to bed that night, dreaming of future adventures with Mark. She knew that no matter where life took them, they would always sail together, navigating the waves of life with hope and courage. Their friendship was a testament to the strength of the human spirit, and together they could conquer anything.